So the next thing we just need to do, dive into is the data analysis. And DAX is like the salt that you add to the food when you want to do data analysis in Power BI. DAX formulas are just like that salt that you add to your soup or your rice or your beans, as the case may be. Without DAX, I don't think there's any data analysis. So just like you have a formula in Excel, you want to calculate revenue, maybe you want to sum everything. So that you use average, you use sum if. So you also use DAX to do that in Power BI, and that is essentially what we'll be going through today. Yeah, so I will start sharing my screen. Have you started recording? Finally confirm you have started recording. So I'm sharing my screen now. Can you see my screen?
Yes, we can see your screen.
Oh, okay, fine. I just want to be sure.
Yes, I've started. I'm already live streaming.
That's fantastic. That's fantastic. So basically, what we'll be going through today, first and foremost, before we even write any DAX formula like sum, whatever, we need to go first dive deep into what's it called? We need to talk about calendar, right? Because in Power BI, there is something called time intelligence. Yeah. So maybe you want to calculate month over month, like for instance, this year you are working for a company and the revenue they generate this year is $15 million. And then you want to compare the revenue for this year or profits for this year. You want to compare it against the one they generated last year. Let's say they generated $12 million as revenue or profit, as the case may be last year. So you want to know the increase. You want to know the percentage increase, right, in the profit. How do you do that? You need time intelligence function to do that kind of analysis. But you cannot use this ordinary date that you have, this invoice date that you have here. You cannot use it for that kind of analysis. You can even have you have it for any analysis that you do in Power BI, as long as you are going to be using date, whatever date that comes with your table cannot be used. You need to create a new table from that. You need to create a different date table from that particular date in that data set. So what am I talking about? So I should show that. So just, if you want to create a new table, just come to this come to this table view. So when you come to the table view, you can see new measure, quick measure, new column, new table. Because what we want to create is a new table. Don't worry, we still use this new measure. We use this new column. They are used for different things. They are used for different tasks. If you want to create a new table from an existing table, that is where you use this new table. And because I want to create a date table, so I'm going to be opting for this new table. Right? So you have it here. Then I'm going to give it a variable. I'm going to give it a variable. So I'm going to create this table. So that will be the name of that table. And how do I generate that date table? There are two functions to generate date tables in Power BI. There is something called calendar, and there is another one, calendar auto. So I'm going to show you, and then I will tell you the difference. So they basically do the same thing, which is to what? To generate date table, right, from the existing table. But if you use calendar only, if you use only calendar, and you're not using calendar auto, so you have to instruct your Power BI that, okay, well, this is the specific date that I want to use as my start date, right? Let's say in this data set, the data set is about, maybe it's just for like 5 years period, a 5-year period sales, right? And then the sales started in 2016. And then the first date in that 2016 is January 1, 2016 to, okay, let's say it is an 8-year period, right? So it starts from January 1, 2016 to the current date, which is August 21, 2024, right? So, and based on the analysis that I want to do, the analysis, maybe I just want to do analysis from last year alone. So that means I'm going to specify the year. If I'm using this calendar, right, I'm going to say, okay, well, because the analysis I want to do is beginning is like from January 2023 to August 21, 2024. So I'm just going to specify it here. The start date, which is 01/01 2023, right? End date, then I'm going to put 21/08/2024, then enclose it. Once I enclose it, that is the only date. It's, I told you that I'm assuming that the data set is from, like, it is a data set that contains the transaction of 8-year period. So which means we are ignoring from 2016 to 2022. We don't want to do anything with that, like the sales that were made between those periods. We don't want to have anything to do with it. We just want to concern ourselves with sales from January 1, 2023 to the present date, which is 21 August 2024, right? So that is what you do in calendar. But for calendar auto, you don't need to specify any start date or current or this thing. Once you click calendar auto, it automatically, can you see fiscal year end month? It just brings everything from where it starts to the current month, or maybe we have the data set from January 1, 2016 to August 21, 2024. That's exactly what it is going to bring for us. It is not going to restrict you to a certain year or certain month. So I hope that is clear. So that is what to do. So I will just click enter. Once I click enter, you can see that. And one thing you need to know, okay, let me just try to follow along to be sure that people are getting me. Okay, so how you see my screen is paused. We are using calendar auto, not calendar. As I said, it is telling me that my screen is paused, so I have to reshare the screen. So I hope you can see my screen. Please confirm you can see my screen.
Yes.
Sure, we can.
Okay, fine. Yeah, so as I was saying, on the calendar, when you use calendar, maybe you have the data set is not just for a single year. And even, yeah, it's not just for a single year. Even if it's just a single year, maybe it's just for 2024, but it starts from January 1, 2024 to to August 21, 2024. But you don't want to do it, okay, maybe the first 3 months of the year, you don't even want to do anything with it. Just need the data from April to August, right? So that means you'll be using calendar in that case, right? You'll be using calendar because you have to instruct Power BI to give, you want to specify the start date, and then you want to specify the end date. But for calendar auto, you don't need to specify anything. You just type calendar auto, and then it brings the date for you, which is what I have done. And it gives me the date. Okay. Because so this calendar auto, So you don't need to specify anything. Just press calendar or two and close the bracket or parentheses. Then just enter. It gives you all the dates. And something you should always be aware of is that once you create the table, the date table in Power BI, the dates will be repeated. Like for instance, if you look at the table that we have here, if you look at this, right? If you look at this invoice date, it is just like we only have Friday, January 3, 2020, January 4, between January 4 and January 21, that is from January 5 to January 20, no sales was made. Like they didn't make any sale. It is not there, right? But you cannot use this one, this table, the date, this column, invoice date, you cannot use it for anything, for the analysis that maybe you want to calculate month over month analysis, year over year analysis, or you want to see, oh, same period last year, same period last month, previous month, and those. Don't worry, we still get to those parts, those areas. We get to them. So you cannot use this particularly, which is why we are creating a date table. And this is the date table that we have created. Now, when you look at this date table, you will see that you have January 1, January 2, January 4, January 4. So that is how it should continue. It is continuous, right? If you look at it, it is continuous, right? You see that it ends on January 1, even though no sales was made between January 5 and January 22 or January 20, it still repeats everything one by one, right? That is what you have when you use calendar. It doesn't give you the same thing that you have in your dates table, but the one you have in your dates, that is the dates column you have in your data set, you cannot use it to do any time intelligence analysis. So you have to create a new table, which is a dates table for that. And then from that dates table, you still need to, I think the data is just between January 1, 2020 and December 31, 2021. So it is just like for just 2 years, yeah. Or sales made in 2 full years, in full 2 years, yeah. So that is how it is. And in spite of that, you are still not going to use it like this. You still need to create from this date, you need to create column, right? So that is where new column comes in. So you click on new column, then because I want to generate year, right? I want to generate year column from this table. So I'm going to put the variable year. Then what am I going to do? I'm going to type year. There's a function called year, right? So which date do I want to generate it from the year from? Then I'll write date table. Yeah. So this table, the table that we create. So once I do that, ignore this dot. Like once you do that, it's going to tell me you want to do date. Don't worry about that. Just close it and then enter. It's going to generate, it's going to bring out the years. Can you see? It's bring out the years from this day. This is 2020, 2020, 2020, 2020, 2020. It goes on repeatedly till the last one, right? So it goes on repeatedly. That's about that. Then we are still going to generate the month. So you come here, put into variable the right month, then we want to generate month. From which days, from this table. Then you close it. Then what's going on? So you have it, you close it. Don't worry, you see that if you do something, just give us numbers. Oh, error. What? The expression refers to multiple columns. What's going on? Let me try to see. This table. It's still the same thing.
Table dates.
What's going on? Yes. Okay, yeah. So the date is not because that is why it was showing that. So can you see it is showing one, but that is not what we want. We want the year to be rating, not just one. We know that okay, one is January 1, but that is not what we want. We want it to appear. We want it to write that Jan, right? Or January, as the case may be. So you are going to write format. Use format, then the value, right? After you have entered the value, you've written the value. Yeah, you put comma. Then what do you want? How do you want to format it? Then you write If you write that it is this going to give you that number again? Let's see. What? You come. So it is showing that number again. So just come and write put it two times. Why are you showing December? That's not December now. Should be January, not December. Am I getting something wrong? I should just remove this. Do months. Coming. No, 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 no. That cannot work. Why are you showing? Format, month. Yeah, that's the right thing. Well, should not be showing December, should be showing January. What's going on? January, December. Okay, I'm coming. Let me check. What's, what's going on? Wow. Wait to not be showing December now. Why? No, no, no. Still not the same. I'm not getting. You're not be showing this. Are we getting something wrong? Okay, I'm coming. Let me create for week first to see what is going on exactly. Why that's the case. So we can come here and create week or days or quarter. Okay, let's create quarter, right? Quarter. So what you are just going to put is a format, then value, put quarter, then dates, date table, date table, then you have right queue 3 times, then and close it. What's going on? Am I missing something? It's not giving us the accurate listing.
Maybe you should restart your Power BI.
No, I'm not sure that's the case. That should not be the case. It's not the Power. It's not the Power BI. Okay, maybe I should do that then, but I'm not sure that's the case. I'm not sure. I'm not sure. I'm not sure that's the case. Something is wrong somewhere.
Something similar to that has happened to me before.
Yeah. So, guys should just check. I'm coming. Can you see my screen? Can you see my screen?
Yes.
What is showing?
Is it showing that page? The date, year,
Okay,
month, quarter.
okay. I'm still trying to figure it out. I don't know what is going on. Well, that is ideally how it is. Mm. I want us to waste our time. Oh. This is how it is now. We delete. So sorry. I don't know what's going on. I'm trying to figure it out. Oh, and the DA is correct. So why not dates? Hmm. Um, Dates table. Oh, is it going to be from dates? No, no, it cannot be dates here.
Hello. Sorry, can I say something?
Okay, go ahead.
You should remove the months. Just use format, it will work.
Huh?
Just use format, don't use month, it will work. It is the month that is
Okay.
giving it problem.
Okay, let me confirm. Value. Then oh, it's fantastic. Okay. So I should not have put the month in the first place. That's the error. Okay, yeah, thank you so much. Yeah, so this is basically it is. So I think the error I was making before is to add that month. So basically, this is the logic. You know, when I wanted to create the year table, I used year, right? To get this 2020, 2020 in continuum, right? So if you want to create month too, you will use that month. But if you use month, if you use month, right? It is just going to populate the columns with numbers instead of this Jan that we have here. It's going to be 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. But we don't want that. So what we are going to do is that you are going to write format. Then when you have the format, then you have the date table, then you separate it with a comma. And when you have that comma, you put MM. If you use MM, it is going to repeat just numbers as well. 0101. Can you see? It's going to repeat that 01. But if you also use one M, it's just going to repeat the same M. It will only repeat just one, this thing, one. Right? It is almost the same thing as using month. But if you want it to repeat January, if you want it in short format, use 3 M's. Just like you use text function with date in Excel. Maybe you want to generate the month, then use text function with it too. But if you want it to be in full, just write 4 M's. Then you have it. Can you see? It is in full. So either way, however you want it, but I just wanted to I want to shorten the date. So I'm going to put MM. So the same thing applies. So I'm going to create for quarter now. So I'm going to create quarter, then you use format. So what do you want to format? The date table, right? So always remember, we are very well in the anything, because we write dates, it's going to show us date table, date table month, date table year. So you are going to ignore the date table month and the date table year. It is this date table date that we use to create anything that you want to create. So you separate the comma, then we have Q, Q, Q. We have 3 Qs and then no, what's going on here? Why is this one still repeating 111 again? Is it not the same thing? So it's still repeating. I'm missing something. Um, so why is it now? Let me just format with this. What is going on? Without this, it will not work. Just decided to try it. So why is this repeating? Is a way to do is that you have that Q continuously as well. So what is going on this time around? Okay, let me use this. Error. Okay. Format Q. Am I getting something? Okay, I'm coming. Okay, let me use this backslash. Yeah, this backslash for. What's going on? Trying to, okay, let me quickly check. Let me check Google. Don't know what's going on today. Hmm? Sorry, trying to figure it out. How this forward slash, right?
Yeah, I think it's 1Q. 1Q works.
One key.
Yes, 1Q works. It will give quarter one for quarter one, 2 for quarter 2, 3 for quarter 3.
I know it will repeat one, but I want it to write instead of just, okay, yeah, this is what I want to do. I don't want it to repeat. If I use Q alone, it will just show 1, let me check. To just show 1. That's not what I want. So yeah, so I think I got it now. I think it works. So instead of just having 1, I want it to show Q1, Q2, Q3, Q4. So that is what I'm trying to do. So once you have your formats, then you have dates, this table, and then you have separated with comma. Have this backward slash, then you unwrap it in the queue. If I add another queue now, I think it's going to show QTR. Oh no. So you have the quarter one. So that is how you also get your quarter. And if you want to get the for days, so you also come here, write day. So you only have months, day, week. Okay, you don't usually use week. So day, then you have format, then you have the date table. Then we have the comma, then you put the. This one will also not show the. Okay. So, and if you want it to be in full, just write it multiple times. And yes, to be in full. But because we have been using short dates, let's keep it consistent and even. So here we go. We have it. Although there is also another way of doing this, right? So I don't know. I don't, because we have just little, like we have less than 9 minutes to go on this session. Because I'll be, as I said at the beginning, we have just about 40 minutes into this class. So, and I would love to show another way by which you can achieve what you have achieved here, right? So maybe I should just use the remaining time to do that. So instead of creating this calendar also and creating all these ones, like creating them one by one, you can actually do them together with calendar also. So, and that is what I'm going to do. So just come here. Sorry, I'm coming. So just come to this place, come to table tools and create new table. Then when you create new table, so we still want to create that date too, but I just want to show you another way of doing that. So I'm going to put dates table. I'm going to write it together this time around. And what do you do? Instead of writing, when I wanted to start, I wrote calendar auto straightforward, but no, that's not what I'm going to do right now. I'm just going to add columns, right? If you look at the parameters, we will see that it shows table. What table do I want? So I'll do calendar auto, then I enclose it, I put comma, Then after that, I'm going to, once I write it with comma, then I'm going to have the name of another this thing, because I want to start with the month. So I'm just going to put month like this, just like the name of a variable, right? So you put comma, you enclose it in a bracket, then you put comma. Can you see it shows name, then the expression? So I'm just going to put format, right? Format. What is the value that I want to format? You put what is that? Okay, you put dates. You put dates. Okay, let me quickly copy. I want to look at the date of this. Or do I need to copy? No, it doesn't matter. Let me just go ahead. So you have the formats. Have the formats. Then you have the parentheses. Then you have the value, which is the date. Well, I want to be sure. Okay, date. Then, okay, I will not add the dates. The format I want, because I put month first, so I'm just going to put 3. I'm going to put 3 M's. Just put it. This one just like to use it to test run it, right? So put enter. Okay, the date I put is not what we should have. So I think that should be the invoice, because you are which date? Okay, this. Can you see? This is just another straightforward method of doing the same thing that I have done before. So instead of doing this one by one, that okay, you first of all created calendar, you first of all create calendar or two. Then after creating calendar or two, you now start again that you now create year variable. Like as I did here, if you look at this place, this date table, you see that when I was creating this table, I first of all, can you see this? I put year, then I wrote year DAX formula to create that year from this particular table. Then I repeated it on other things. But here, can you see? I just add columns, calendar or two. Then I start everything I want to do. Then I can put comma. When I put comma, when you look at it, if you look at this add column, you have table. If you look at the parameters, you have table, you have name 1, you have expression 1. Now I've put comma, which means name 2. So now I want to do for quarter. So I will just I will write it like I'm writing the name of a variable, quarter, right? So once I have the quarter, then I have comma, I have format. What do I want to format? The dates. These dates, look at it. If you look at it very well, when I wrote dates, then you will see something like this table. This is the date you are going to use, not this one, not this one. It is the one that is enclosed in a bracket that you are going to use. So I do that. Then I put my comma, which is the format that I want to do now. Remember that when I wanted to create the quarter before, I also use is it backward slash? Okay, backward slash. Then before I wrote the double queues, the 2 queues, then you put it in a what was it called? You enclose it in a quote, in quotes. Then after that, you come out of it, you put, if that's the end, you just close it and enter. But I'm not done yet. I still want to write for year and I also want to write for month, for day. So I'm going to write another variable name, which is the day. After that, I'm going to enclose that in a bracket, in quotes, then comma. After that, I have my format. Then what value do I want to do? The dates. I want to format dates. Remember that it is this dates that you are going to use, dates, then comma, what format do I want it? Then I put D. Then, because that is not the end, I still want to continue. So you just come out of the parenthesis, you put another comma, right? Then you put, I want to generate it for year. You put year. After that, you put it in quotes, separate with its comma. Then you put format. After the format, so the value, it is the date, right? So you go up, you press enter, then you put comma. How do you want it to be formatted? So just put Y, because you want the full year, not just, don't want to shorten, you just put 4 Ys, then you enclose it, you close it, you enter, it will populate everything for you automatically. Can you see that? So I think I will stop here. But before I proceed, before I stop, I would love to hear from you, because I know that this one, especially this last part, I think the first method I used is way more, it's way easier to understand. But I just show you that there is always, especially in data analysis, that generally there is always more than a way to solve one problem. Yeah. So I'm just trying to give you new perspective and try to make you more creative and show you new ways of doing things. So let me see what you have to say. Like I can see that, okay, maybe this, especially this one that I have to use add columns, maybe it looks a little bit more technical or more difficult. So let me hear from you, please.
This looks more straightforward.
Okay, I can see that. Okay, the second one looks straightforward.
Straightforward. And then, why is it, please, I have a question.
Okay.
Why is this second one, why is the month starting with July instead of January?
July. Oh, I didn't observe that. Oh, that was a very good observation. Let me check. July. Let me check how many. Starting from July. Let me. It's opening that down.
Sir, I think July is correct.
Huh?
Because if we look at the rest of the days.
Yeah, it's July cannot be the start. It is not the start. Oh, let me confirm, sure. Start from July 2020. Then wow, that is strange. Let me look at our months. But the year is not like that. What is going on? Let me check. I'm coming. Let me add the 4 M's. Then the D. I'm not sure that's the case, but let me confirm. It's the same thing. Ah, what is going on? No, I've never faced this issue before. I'm missing something. Format, handout. Please, can you mute yourself, please? Thank you. Which date did I use? Let me check the date I used first. I think maybe that is where the problem comes from. The dates.
I think that July is correct. It's correct. It's day, month, and year. The July should be correct. It's day, month, and year. That's the format.
What do you
say? The July should be correct. It's day, month, and year.
The July should be correct.
It's correct. Day, month, then year. That's the format.
I think it means the way the date is formatted, day, month, and year. So maybe if we sort the dates column.
Okay. Well, that's a thoughtful suggestion. Let me check. Let me confirm. Well, I don't know if that's the case, but let me put the year first then. What's going on? Okay, I see that. I'm going to remove this one. What else? Why are you showing all this? Yeah, okay, with comma. Then we have months. Well, let's see. Still the same thing, oh. And as a matter of fact, this year should come first. So why is this here? Or is it the dates that we are using?
The July is correct.
The date starts from January 1.
This July 1st. The date starts from July 1st. The month should be July, which is correct.
Yeah,
I'm not doubting that. We have data from January 1, 2020. So January 1, 2020 should be the first on this thing. That's the problem.
Let's scroll down.
Can you see this January 1st should be the first on our date, not July. January 1st, 2020.
Okay.
As we have it here, if you look at this table.
Okay, then we can now rearrange.
Yeah, so this is how it should be. This is how it should be. Can you see we have January 1 first here? We have January 1, January 1, January 1. When I use that column to create it, so it is now showing another thing. So that is why I'm baffled and I'm trying to find out why.
Let's check the measure that we write newly. Let's just check that measure. Yeah.
But there is no problem with the measure. If there is any issue, it shouldn't have even work at all.
Yeah.
So what is now what's the problem? Is what I can't figure out.
Is it possible to sort?
Huh?
Can't we sort it?
You sort it. I've just
sort
done
the
that.
date column.
That's not the issue.
Because I did that at work for me.
You sort it by dates.
No, by month.
By month.
Yeah.
Still the same thing.
Just from the small arrow, just from the small drop down arrow, start ascending.
Let's see, it should bring April 4th. Okay, I'm coming. Okay, I will go to the.
It's because we have a hair.
Okay, I'm coming. Oh, I think it is this sorted. Yeah. Yeah, it is sorted now.
Yeah.
I think it's sorted. So what you basically did to get it done is that I came here, So I come here to sort ascending order, right? Then after doing that, I now come to sort by dates. Then it gives us the accurate format as it should be. Now we have our January 1, January 2, January 3, January 4, as it is here. Right? Can you see that?
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
that is just the two ways by which you can create calendar dates from your Power BI from the existing from the table. So whichever you find easier, you can always opt for that particular one. So I think we are going to use more than the 40 minutes or 45 minutes before we are going to. So this is almost this 6 already. So I think we are going to stop here. Then from tomorrow, we'll continue with more DAX formulas. So I think I should just delete one of these tables. Just wanted to show you how to do that. So I'm going to delete the one I use. Please mute your mic. So I'm going to delete the last one I created, which is this one, this date table. I'm going to delete it. I just decided to show you that, right? But that is not the end. Once you create a new calendar table, that does not mean that you still need to model it. You need to, because it is a new table. I'm leaving now. So I'm sorry, I was talking to someone. So you come here, you need to join the table with where is that this table that we create? Okay, this is the new table, right? We need to link it with data sales Adidas, right? Everything is not showing. Okay, this is the invoice date. Just come here, drag it, and drop it on this. Then they'll be connected together. Just save it. Don't have to stress. Just need to model the new date. Can you see relationship? That relationship has been created between the two tables. Let me try to. I'm trying to drag this down so we can see it clearly. Can you see? So we have created this between this invoice date, which is the date that we have in our sales table in the first place. We'll now use it to link it together with the new table. So now let me show you something. So we still create another table, then we come here, take something, this data says Adidas, let's say total profits. So maybe I want to see total profit by year. Then I come here, I drag the year, I drag it on this. Oh, it's showing, it's summing the year. Don't want to summarize that. So can you see? It means in 2020, they generated 182 million, while in 2021, they generated 70. That's like how many increase? That's over 500% increase in sales, right? That's over 500%. So it's because I have created that relationship. Let me go and dismantle the relationship and see what happens. It will still be the same thing that happened yesterday, as I showed on Monday. So it's just going to feel like, what is this? Can you see? Because this new table that we have created, there is no relationship with this table and this table. So that is why it is repeating the same thing. So the best way to do that is to come here, drag this, drop it on it, then just put OK, save it. Then the relationship is created. If you come back to this place, you will see that you have the accurate figure. And you can also drag your month and drag the month here. Can you see? So if you remove the months, you see that it is also sorted in ascending order, right? Now that is not what we want. Just click on this place to sort it. No. Come here. No. What's going on? I want to sort it again. No. I want to sort the so right showing is not okay. So no, that is not okay. Sort by months, right? So we just come here, sort again. What's it doing? So we sort by months now. Yeah? Even descending order. It should not be descending order. Why this is stressing me? The sort should be, you have sorted it by months. Okay, let me see. That should not even be the case. It should still be by month. I want to sort it by month. Instead of having this, I want it to be by month. Yeah. So what is this? Yes, sir. So what is the new listing? If you have January 1st, let me check. No, if you not even have any problem with this, this is where it should be sorted. You have January 1st. January should be our listing. I'm still doing the same thing. So what's going on? Don't know. This is how it should be now. So what's going on?
I think we should leave it this way because if you want to insert the charts, it's going to depend on the sum of the total sales. So what do you think?
I get, but then notwithstanding, should still give. Okay, I'm coming. Let me check. No, I'm not sure that's the issue. Let me try to. It's still the same thing. There should be a way to sort it. In that January comes first, and I've done it before. So what is it? Is it not bringing it up? Okay, because of our time, I will just leave it and I'll try to figure it out before tomorrow. I don't know why it is doing like that. It should naturally be January, like, okay, I'm coming. Let me drag the year then. Let's see what happens. This one is summing here. Don't sum here for me. Don't aggregate. So there are some cases where you drag the, as you can see, you see that it is summing the year, but I don't want to sum it. So just come and put don't summarize. It gives you the year. So put the year first. And you do that. Let me use this. When you do that, you can have it underneath. So just come, you can check. So it's still the same thing, right? So I don't know why it is doing that, but I'll try to figure it out. So the basic idea is just that, yeah, once you create a new table, no matter what, even if you have just, if this data says Adidas, it's just one single data. That is, you have not created any relationship between the fact table and other table. You still need to create that relationship with the new table, with the new date table that you have created. You need to do that. So if not, you will not be able to use it for anything. You won't. So that is just the basic idea behind creating relationship. So you can use table, you can use a column from this table and then your new date. Like, is that clear now? Like, do you understand that? Yeah, so that is it. And as we go on, as we progress, so we definitely use more of these functions to do some calculations and everything. Yeah, so let me check the comments. the comments to the chat. Okay, nobody is.
I have a question, please.
Okay.
On the data sales Adidas table, the column that we use to make a relationship with the data table is invoice dates, while the column on the data table is dates. The name of the columns are not similar.
They are not. Yeah, it doesn't matter as long as the value that contains here is date, it is going to connect together automatically. In fact, this let me show you my screen. Let me come back to the data model. In some cases, it might not even be invoice date at all. It might be something else. As long as what we have in this column is date, it doesn't matter, right? In fact, you just drag it. If I should just go there now, let me come to this table and rename this column from invoice date to another thing. This invoice date, I can rename it. I'll just come here, rename. Let me type my name there, Bolan. Right? Just enter. Doesn't matter. To still connect. As long as it is date that is there. Now let me break the relationship. I'm deleting that. As long as you can see, like you can see the form, you can see the symbol, right? You can see that it is showing something like a table. As long as it is date, then just drag it, and then it should create the relationship because it is date that is there. The name does not matter. Do you get that? Does not matter. As long as you have created that table. And in some cases, because there is something I want to mention. What you should look out for is that you know what you want to do, because there are some data sets where you will have more than one date, right? Maybe you have shipping date, you have sales date, you have shipping date, you have delivery date. Know exactly which date you are using. Maybe it is the transaction date that you are using, not delivery date or shipping date. It's that transaction table that you are going to use to create that relationship with the date table. Do you get that?
Yes, clear.
Yes, I do.
So I'm going to go back to this and rename it to invoice date that it is before, so to avoid the confusion. Now, so that about that. So I think there is nobody with any other question. So I'll just state, so maybe if there is no other question, then we can call it a day. But if there is any question, we can entertain questions till 8:15, because I actually have a meeting to join. Yeah, so is there any other question? Not really, chat. I think someone asked a question before. Please, what's the essence of this table if there is already an invoice date column in the sales date Adidas? Yeah, as I said before I started creating the new table, I told you that because, don't worry, but I'll just explain. Then maybe tomorrow we can start with the practical aspect of it. The essence is that when you want to use time intelligence function, right? You cannot use that invoice date to do anything like time intelligence. Like, let me even try to look at it now. Let me check something. I want to check something. So if I drag this invoice date, I drag it here. Okay, can you see? It just gives me what's it called? The date in its raw format as it is naturally in the table. Can you see? January 3, January 4, January, blah, blah, blah. Can you see? That is how it is. Now, let me put total sales. What? So I'm going to drag that date back to it. Can you see? It's January 1, January 2, January. Just repeat everything. Then I will drag this total sales. I will drag it into it. Can you see? doesn't really give us as it is here. And if I want to do it by just like, let's say I want to aggregate by month, there is no way I'm going to do it, right? It just gives me the dates repeatedly in continuum, right? That is why we cannot rely on that date. And that is why we have to rely on the date from the table, from the dates table that we created afresh. Because I can basically just come here from the new table, just use the month alone. Maybe I want to see the aggregation by month, but I cannot do that here. It just goes on continuously, repeatedly, and it doesn't make any sense. So it just shows, okay, January 1, this is the sales. January 2, January 3, January 4, January 5. But I want to see the sales for January alone. There is no way I'll be able to do that. I want to see for February alone, which means if I want to see that, I have to come here, drag it down, look at it, strain my eyes before I see everything under it, right? So come here, be dragging it down. And even with that, it is not even aggregated. This is January 31, and it is not even aggregated. And I want to see all the sales for January, right? So that is why we cannot use that invoice date. We have to create a date table. If you want to calculate maybe anything like time intelligence, okay, I want to aggregate it by month, I want to aggregate it by date, I want to aggregate by quarter, we have to create time intelligence. So now if I come here again, then I pick up this quarter and I drop it here, then I remove the year, I remove the month, the quarter, can you see? So that means in each quarter, this is the sales that we made in quarter 1. And if you look at it very well, it's actually combined the quarter of the 2 years. This quarter 1 is not just for 1 year. So if I want to see for the 2 years, I can just come here, bring the year, and come here, drop it here. It is still summing it. So I'm going to come here and then don't summarize. All right. If you look at this, you see that, okay, it gives us for quarter 1 for 2020, it is just 48 million. And quarter 1 for 2021, quarter 2 for 2020, quarter 2 for 2021, so it goes on like that, right? But if you want to just do it like in the way that you can check, you can use check to drop it down. Just use this matrix. Use this matrix. Oh no. Come here. Click on this matrix. Can use. Okay, not column. Bring it to this row. Right? So you can check it. Come here. You can see the quarter 1, everything, just like you have it under pivot table. So that is what this matrix is for actually. So just like maybe you want to do something like you do in pivot table in Excel. So you can use that where you have checking, you have drop down under each of these. So unlike the other where you have quarter 1 2020, then quarter 1 2021. So you can just have 2020 alone. Then when you check it, you see quarter 1, quarter 2, quarter 3, quarter 4, and you see the aggregation of the 2020 alone. Then you can also come here, check. You have quarter 1, quarter 2. So I will just try to expand it. Then you have quarter 3, quarter 4. Can you see? So, but you cannot do that if you use just this date alone, this invoice date on this. You cannot use quarter on it. You cannot. There is no way you are going to. So let me just remove the year, the quarter. Can you see? But I want to see by quarter. I cannot do that. I cannot without invoice date because it is not structured that way. So that is why we have to create a new table. Do you understand that why we are now using a new table as even with the fact that we have invoice dates? Do you see the reason now? Like yesterday, like is it clear now? Oh, fine. Yeah. So that will be the end of today's session. So tomorrow we proceed. So that is where we get to use our DAX formulas, other DAX formulas that we have like sum, average, count, and everything. It's still like the same thing that you have in Excel, just that a little bit different, and you have to create measures to use those ones. Yeah, so that will be the end of today's class. So I will stop sharing my screen. Yeah, so that will be the end for today by God's grace, and we'll meet tomorrow. Yeah. So admin, do we have anything to say?
Thank you.
Done. Thank you.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
you're
Please
welcome.
Thank you
let's
so
let's
much.
show appreciation and love
You're
as
welcome.
we normally will do.
Thank
Thank
you
you
so
so much
much.
You're
for your
welcome. You're
time.
welcome.
Yes,
You're
and we
welcome.
know you have another meeting, so I'll just quickly wrap up and end the meeting.
Yeah.
Yes, so I sent a link to the surveys. Please, everyone should try and fill in the surveys, anonymous, and you can just let us know so we can improve the experience for us. Thank you so much once again for
You're
tutor.
welcome. You're
All
welcome.
right.
All right. Yeah, so I'll
Everyone
be
have a
leaving now.
wonderful, yes, everyone have a wonderful evening. Goodbye.